got a check engine light, getting on the freeway, romping on it a little bit. So we're gonna read the code and see what we got. Everything seems to be running fine right now. Not misfiring or anything, but it definitely was a boost cut or a throttle cut or one of those things. We'll get to the bottom of it. Kind of was scary though, I'm not gonna lie. Take a look at that code again. P0244. Turbocharger wastegate solenoid A, range performance. Over boosting. Gotta run a low wastegate map possibly. Can also be caused by failing or misconfigured boost control system. Dramatic drop in ambient temperatures and accelerating aggressively in a high gear at a low RPM. Yeah, I was kind of getting on it onto the freeway in the morning. Possibly maybe the car wasn't warmed up entirely, or I got on it at a lower RPM like it's saying. But we're gonna monitor it. I'm gonna clear the code right now and head to work and see what happens. If it comes back, I will have to reflash with the low wastegate tune. I will keep you guys updated and show you that along the way. Cleared the code, getting on the freeway again. I'm not gonna romp on it just yet. I'm gonna let my ECU kind of relearn everything and then give it another shot. The last thing I want to do is blow this damn thing up. It's been so good to me over the last 10 years. Wild to think, but I've had this car for over 10 years. Keep her going, keep her beating strong, hopefully. Give her a little juice maybe, 3,500 RPM. Joker. This Joker needs to get out of my way. It's almost like my wastegate flap isn't functioning properly. Maybe it's sticking again. Because then when it opens, it probably stays open. Something's not happening. I haven't really driven this car in a little bit. I've been riding my bike mostly. My flap, my wastegate solenoid or something could be sticking or not closing all the way to build the boost properly, and then it'll stay closed and then we'll overboost, and it's just not good. So I'm gonna continue to kind of troubleshoot and see what happens. Maybe I can get the check engine light to come back, maybe not, but I will update you guys if that happens. Well, I think I've came to the conclusion that my car is boost creeping. So it literally would hit like 17 PSI and it'll creep all the way up to 17 before I even get wide open throttle. So I'm pretty dang sure that's called boost creep, but then again, I'm no expert, so don't quote me on that until I confirm that on the Google. But yeah, I'm just kind of driving around town here and trying to get my car to throw that check engine light that it did the other day. And I believe it was when I was, you know, low RPM and flooring it, that's when I got the boost cut. I'm gonna try to demonstrate to see if it will do it for me. Time to go around the block one more time. Literally one-handed filming, not recommended. Yeah, you can just feel it as you're flooring it. It's very odd. Yeah, my windshield is filthy too. Holy crap. I really don't drive this car enough. I'm always on my Harley. It's kind of sad. But these gas prices right now, you know, the Harley is just that much quicker, that much cheaper. So that's the way I roll pretty much through the week. And we're gonna run into this jerk knob over here. Can't really do much because we got traffic. Sounds good though, I gotta say, tell me that. Gotta say, it does sound good. One thing I do know is I already hit peak boost, over peak boost. We're at 17 PSI, and I haven't even really gone up all the way, you know, past 3,500 really. So that tells me right there that something is definitely off, but we're gonna continue to drive around and troubleshoot. So let's continue this and hopefully come up with a conclusion and see what the heck's going on with this old girl. Not sure how much sauce I can give it, but I'll give it some. I got some traffic in front of me, you know. Pushing some high powers, you get to certain places really quickly. Okay, false alarm, gotta get off, gotta get Mexican food. be over boosting, that's for sure. No check engine light, which is even better. Sounds good, but it's not good. The AFRs are fine, so I'm not too concerned about that. About cops, even though I'm sober as a gopher. I'm sober as a gopher, bro. There we go. Well, it's been many days later, and I am out troubleshooting once again in the Subi, and I think I have discovered something happening while running the Accessport. Basically just going through each one of those monitors, roughness and cylinders 1, 2, 3, and 4. I pretty much started doing a pull and started monitoring each cylinder individually. So I got all the way to the third cylinder. It was breaking up in the higher RPMs, and I was trying to determine which cylinder it was. So I ended up figuring it out. I got through cylinders 1 and 2 with nothing. And then right when I switched to cylinder 3, you know, flooring it, and it started breaking up, and then sure enough, I was seeing the roughness count, you know, begin. So the highest, I don't know if you can see that, but the highest it's been is at 7. So that's one continuous pull, and it had that many, you know, misfires or something rough in the cylinder. So this is kind of shedding light on my issue that's going on. It's been breaking up at higher RPMs. So that's one cylinder to pinpoint, one cylinder to start troubleshooting. So I'm gonna show you guys, you know, live right here what's going on. All right, we're getting into third gear now. I'm gonna roll onto it. Still monitoring cylinder 3. Okay, it didn't really happen there. Of course, it's not gonna happen live on camera because I'm recording it. Just my luck. Okay, there's whopping 1. Alright, there's a little second to third, and as you guys saw, it went up to 3 or so misfires or something rough going on. So we're still in third gear, about 3,500 RPM. Let's hit it. There it is. See, all the way to 6. And I think my car actually backfired too. I hate this old school V2 Accessport. You can only monitor one thing at a time, which is kind of dangerous. At first, I do a wide open throttle pull, making sure my AFRs are good. And I pretty much send it after that because I can only monitor one screen at a time. But definitely cylinder 3. I need to figure out what's going on with that. But let's go ahead and move on to cylinder 4. But yeah, pretty exciting that I'm finding stuff. I'm finding some clues. So it's pretty exciting. So let's go ahead and flip around and do some more pulls. Okay, looks like we're gonna be focusing on cylinder 3 because I felt it breaking up and there was no count up on the cylinder 4 monitor. So I think I just determined that it's gonna be a cylinder 3 issue. So it's a non-check engine light cylinder 3 misfire breaking up issue. Curious if it's a spark plug or if it is a coil pack. I really don't know. I have another video of me troubleshooting misfires, but that's when I actually get a check engine light for a misfire. In this case, it's not giving me a check engine light. So that's even more bizarre. So it's something I'm gonna have to look into and figure out, and then hopefully I can teach you guys something, or I'm gonna learn something from this video as well. So if anybody else is trying to troubleshoot something like this, well, I'm gonna try it for you. Trophy truck racing. He doesn't know it yet though. Look at Tesla behind me is gonna just smoke me. I hope he does. Time to swap the coil packs with cylinder 1 and cylinder 3. See if it switches cylinders or if it continues the misfire in cylinder 3. So we're gonna try to troubleshoot a little bit tonight. So let's get started. Gotta get this Cobb airbox lid off of here, the 2.5mm. We gotta get the intake off, we gotta get the snorkel off. I've showed this process many times. Bada bing bada boom. 10mm for the snorkel. Alright, here we have access to both 1 and 3 cylinder coil packs. So we're just going to do a little swap around and determine if the misfire or the roughness in the cylinder switches to 1, because I'm currently getting roughness in cylinder 3. So we're going to do the old switcheroo trick and see if that helps, or change the cylinders, and that'll tell me the coil pack's going bad. So that's the first thing I'm going to start with. About to pull out this coil pack here, just a 12mm bolt holding it in. Accessing cylinder 3 coil pack. Gonna get in there with the 12mm 1/4" drive. Jeez. Whew. Sorry about that, I had to switch to the GoPro. GoPro is just so much more convenient. It's got that fisheye. You can kind of just aim it and go, which is more my style. This is the coil pack that I actually snapped the clip off of. The little locking clip, it snapped as I was snapping it back on after doing this years and years ago. So I actually have a zip tie holding that side in now. So this is a little O2 sensor bracket, kind of just hangs on. Slip that off. And the bolt won't fall out either, it's kind of fixed to it. It's been so long since I've done this. Uh-oh. Well, the boot didn't come off. Now we see the spring that's popping out. This happened last time. Be careful and get the spring out. You can always set that back in place. Half of a coil pack. Now, just trying to wrestle this boot off of here. I'm gonna wrestle this off and get back to you. I finally got it out. I had to kind of wrestle it. I used my 90-degree pliers to kind of get a hold of it and just yank the hell out of it. And it finally came off. Man, I thought this thing was melted to the spark plug. The thing was really snug on there. Alright, on with the next one. Hopefully that one comes out a little smoother. Give it a go. That one's super loose. What in the heck? That back one was super tight. This one's super loose. What in the hell's going on around here? Oh, ow. Well, that didn't go according to plan. The boot got stuck on there and the spring went flying. Gotta love working on cars. Alright. Try to dig this one out too. Technically I could just leave it in there and then kind of just push this piece back onto it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to see the whole shebang. No, I thought that was it. Damn it. This thing really got a hold of me. There it is. Alright, now I'm going to put the coil pack back together. Basically just put the spring in there, and then this side goes on here, on this little rib. That'll pop in there. So it doesn't take much to pop it back on. Like I said, this side was really on that spark plug head, but doesn't look like it's damaged, so we're all good with that. So basically just gonna swap them around, give the old test. Just a little swaparoo. And you do have to line it up. You'll feel it go onto the spark plug head here. Yep, it's snug. I tried to pull back on it and it's not coming off, so that tells me that it's snug on the spark plug head. Here's that zip tie I was talking about. Had a little casualty one of the times I was taking this off. This one won't really have a click, which is kind of sketchy. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe not. After that last coil pack now, I'm gonna fish it into place, find its home onto the spark plug. A little tight. I like it a lot. I'd much rather work on 1 and 3 cylinders versus 2 and 4. Those ones are a little more hard to access. That's for sure. Okay, tighten her up. Just gonna throw everything back together here, at least just the intake and the MAF sensor. Get that onto the intake here, just to test it real quick. We're gonna start her up, give her a test, see what happens. Just a little squeaky, but everything seems to be all right. You guys can clearly hear that squeak. I thought it was my throwout bearing or something, but something to do with my clutch. It might be my slave cylinder, perhaps. Perhaps it might be my slave cylinder. So that's gonna be a future video. I can like just barely push the clutch in a tiny bit, just like a toe on it. And it'll just go away. So I think there's just a little too much slop in it. But anyways, that's for another day. One issue at a time. Let's get that roughness in cylinder 3 monitoring on my 1970 Accessport. Still does the job to a certain extent. Okay, right there. Again, it doesn't misfire when it's just idling, or not even at the lower RPMs. It's when I get on it on the higher RPMs, we have roughness in cylinder 3. So no check engine light. Occasional misfiring, it feels like. Let's get out there and test it, see what we come up with. All right, third gear. Clear on that. It's all right. I did a pretty hard pull in third, where occasionally I would get that roughness. But the first test pull, my count is 0, so I smell a little bit of exhaust going on. But so far, so good. You know, last night I was doing the same type of pulls and I was getting roughness in cylinder 3 like multiple times over and over again, like seven in a row, and you can see the count if it ever focuses. You'll see that both are 0. So it may have just been a loose coil pack, because literally that's all I did tonight. So maybe it was the loose coil pack connector, the spring maybe, who freaking knows. But as of right now, my issue is resolved.